Hello, people. Hundredline. New episode. Mystery route. I'm lost. I'm lost. This is day 81. I don't know. I had to choose randomly to find that it was Eva. To find that it was Eva. The Eva was the killer. And god damn, bro, it took like 7 tries. I'm so lost, y'all. Who is this ex dude? During the day, we split. Oh yeah, Moko and Tsubasa. Well, actually, they're not missing anymore. We found them hanging on trees. This ex dude might be from the KKK, bro. Oh my god. We didn't find a single clue. Oh my god. Who is this guy? The latest news from Kurara was that, yo, what if, there are actually 2 killers now. Because every time someone died, it was X sending someone to kill someone else. This time, 2 people died. Could X have sent 2 people now? I don't know, bro. Ding dong. Whoa, the sound of the doorbell sent a chill up my spine. Was it X? Were they here to get me? Those thoughts raced through my mind as I gingerly made my way over to the door, where I was greeted by a familiar voice from the other side. Now, this is crazy to me that there is no fish lens to actually see who's at the door. I know what you're thinking, Takumi. Maybe Hiruko is X, right? But you could be wrong. You would be wrong. I'm not X. Yeah, you say that, but just listen to me. I need to tell you something. You are likely innocent because you did not have the detonator for Eva's bomb. For that reason, I trust you and want to tell you something I remembered. What is it? I'm going to the morgue now. If you trust me, meet me there. I will be waiting for you. Heard the sound of her clacking heels getting softer and softer until it went completely silent. What should I do? I don't believe Hiruko is X, but damn it. I hid my infuser under my clothes as a precaution and ran directly to the morgue. Oh, please tell me you locked your door. Because if you didn't, that dude X is going to be under your bed. No pause. I have never met an idiot as stupendously naive as you. Did you even consider what would have happened to you if I had really been X? But you said you weren't? Only a gullible idiot would believe a potential suspect is not a bloodthirsty serial killer simply because they said so. Yes, Mom. Yes, Mom. Anyway, what was this thing you remembered? Hiruko walked over to Tsubasa's dead body without a word. She stopped in front of the body and removed the sheet. She turned the body over before lifting the blues up. It's a strange number we saw yesterday. What about it? This is her liver mortis code. DST. We know there's numbers we need for that. What is a liver mortis code? Oh, is it placed? Oh, liver, not liver. I thought it was actually placed on the liver, but no. It's a unique number that appears on the back of all SDU members when they lose almost... What? Okay, we said that these numbers were placed on the left side of the spine. Could it be why the hearts have been removed? But then why take the entire heart and not just the skin, for example? To get the bomb? I don't know. Only those from Team 1 have this. Yes, it's for the transmitter, the code for it. Where did you hear about this? That is a 3-day long story I can tell you another time. All I can tell you now is that this is a very reliable piece of information. We moved to Shomo's body next, removing the sheet covering him. She flipped his body around so that his back was facing up. Yeah. Shomo too? Yes, I believe X must have done this. But when? We've been moving in groups ever since he died. Well, there was just one sliver of opportunity X could have taken advantage of. And when Eva self-destructed, ooh, everyone got caught in the blast and were knocked out. It was the next morning by the time we regained consciousness. X must have woken up sooner than the rest of us and... Hiruko showed me Eito and Gaku's back cavities next. Finally, she turned Gaku's body over. Now we have 4 cases on hand. Every wound is the same shape. X used the same method to remove their hearts from their bodies. Sure seems that way. What do you see when you look at this wound? Well, the outline is rather clearly defined, like they were cut open with a scalpel or something. Oh, I get it now. It's in the exact same location as the number. Yeah, exactly. Well done. Is it the same for Moko? Haven't you been listening? Oh right, it only appears on Team 1. Moko is from Team 2. Naturally, her back is code-free. After saying that, Hiruko returned the bodies to their original positions. But why would X do such a thing? I'm guessing it is because they do not want us to learn of their existence. What? How? If the bodies were left in their original state, somebody was bound to notice the codes sooner or later. So they cut out the part with the code out in order to keep them hidden from us. Why they got the hearts too? For the bombs? Most likely a red herring. Think about it. What would be the first thing to come to your mind if you saw that multiple bodies and only a certain part of their backs cut away? I would think that there had to be something on our bodies as well. You see? Now you're getting it. You would think X is targeting something invisible on that part of our bodies, right? And what would you do with that information? What am I supposed to do? For example, I would cut that part of my body before X could get their hands on it, or cover it with something, like a tattoo of a soaring dragon. X would likely be highly inconvenienced if we did that. That is why they took out the heart as well. They wanted us to believe their target was not that patch of skin on our back, but the hearts in our bodies. Okay, I understand. Though that still leaves us with one question. I'll explain later. You see, X's objective has to do with knowledge of the livor mortis codes. Our current hypothesis is that X cut out the particular part of the skin, not because they were avid skin collectors, but simply to stop us from knowing about the existence of the codes. But if that is true, why set up the red herring? Because if X's objective was only to know what the codes were, they could have simply gotten rid of the bodies once they saw it. They could have tossed the bodies into the wall of fire, buried them in the forest, yet X did none of these things. Why? I'm not sure, but maybe they needed the bodies to be left in the morgue for some reason. You think so too? Yes, X clearly wanted to leave the bodies in here, but by so doing, oh my god, it would allow us to find out about the existence of the livor mortis code. That is why they went through the trouble of setting up such a complicated red herring, removing the skin and hearts of those already dead. The question is, why does X want the bodies preserved? That is what I'm trying to find out. Let's put that aside for now and talk about something else. Why does X want to know about the livor mortis codes? Well, what they are. It has to do with the distress, exactly, the transmitter. Transmitter the boy with the Undying Flames told us about? Yeah, we know, correct, yeah. The correct series of codes he mentioned. He must be referring to the LMC. Yes, there are 10 people on Team 1. Entering 9 of our codes will summon the rescue craft. Because knowing the livor mortis, the LMC of 9 people indicates that 9 people have entered total death. Total death? It means the complete cessation of life. In this state, a person is impossible to revive. Okay, but how did you come across all this information? Same way I came across the previous information. By remembering them, of course. Oh, the 3-day-long story you were talking about. Yes, I will explain further when time is more on our side. For now, our priority is to identify X. Uh-huh. Do you understand now? Do you understand why I said X's objective is to find out the LMC? Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for them to try and summon the rescue crowd, but like, for what? To kill all humans in the TRC? And this is Ato. It is very likely. It's very likely that if they can leave this school, quite so. Which also means X already knows where the DST is located, because the LMC would be useless otherwise. That is a logical line of reasoning. Keep going. Keep going. If we find the DST ourselves, we may find a clue to X's identity. Hiruko nodded deeply at my words. That is why I am going to start looking for the DST now. Here to join me? But it's almost midnight. What are you, 5? Alright. We ran around the school all night in search of the DST. We found nothing in the end. Well, it's almost 6. If we're not in our rooms in the morning announcement, the others may suspect us of being X. Yes, we should call it a day for now, and just as Hiruko was about to finish her sentence, we saw someone? Rara. Yeah, shh! Hide yourself! What in the world? You made the rule that we should never go anywhere alone, remember? So why is Kurara wandering around by herself then? Oh, now that you mention it. We peered out from around the corner of the hallway to see where Kurara was going. He quickly vanished in the direction of the staircase. Is it the classic going to the cafeteria or not? The sound of footsteps on the floor above us slowly became softer and softer until we heard the roof door closing. Then there was silence. Kurara went upstairs. I mean, we are on wait, what? We're on the ground floor? But she just came from that staircase. Why would she come down the stairs just to go up again? Maybe she didn't come down the stairs? There was someone else? Are you saying? Started investigating the area around the staircase, groping around wall surfaces to see if we could find anything, and then... Fuck. What's that sound? What?
隠し扉ね。
とにかく開いてみよう。
ええ。
How? Just opens like that? Behind the door was a staircase leading down into pitch darkness.
続きのやつ、やっぱり降りてきたんじゃなくて。
ここを登ってきたのね。
ってことは、この先に。
Could it be someone else in Kurara's mask? That'd be so funny. Could it be someone else in Kurara's mask? That'd be so funny.
ええ。間違いなく何かあるはずよ。行ってみましょう。
So this is where the DST is, but like, where the hell are we? What is this liquid? This place. I cannot believe we're still discovering new places in the school on day 82. It's freezing in here. Your unfunny jokes made the heat of the room shrivel up and die. What joke? We didn't even say anything. I don't recall making any jokes. There is a device of some sorts in the middle of the room. Girl, please. Make some sense. Damn. Something on the right and then something on the left. The right is like text, I don't know what, and then there's a hand. Do we need... No, there's no... We need a code, not fingerprints, or like handprints. Ooh, interesting. Is this what I think it is? Oh, but Kurara's someone from the second school. Oh, that's so interesting. There was a user manual of sorts in the bottom left part of the screen which read, DST. Enter the LMC of each SDU member in the blank spaces on the screen. The stress signal is transmitted when 9 correct codes are entered. 9? Instead of 10? However, should a single incorrect code be entered, poison gas will be released from the tank behind the device. I see. This is a special gas designed to instantly dissolve all types of physical objects. Neither a gas mask nor a biohazard suit will offer any sort of protection against it. You have been warned. So, the PLM suit is not immune to this. This is it. This is the DST we were looking for. I think it's been here this whole time. This is a major discovery. And in my excitement, I started looking around the other areas in the room. The next moment, I felt my blood going cold. I saw something I hadn't noticed initially, because all my attention had been on the device. An object in the corner of my eye. No, that wasn't an object. It wasn't. That was... I think it's another Kurara. Interesting. They robbed her ass. Crazy. So that wasn't Kurara up there? Yo, what did I just say? What if it's someone wearing Kurara's outfit, her mask? If so, I have to see something. She is 159. Is there someone else that's 159? I mean, it could be Ima. He's about the same size. Kurara isn't very busty, so it could be hidden. Because she's wearing a lot of clothes. Who knows? Who knows? Kurara Osuzuki's dead body.
なんでだよ。とにかく保健室に。
無駄よ。1時間やそこらでこんな風にガチガチに凍りついたりなんてしないわ。
True.
つまり死んでからかなり時間が経ってる。
It's currently 6.
見ればわかるでしょ。
Wait, what? Oh my god, this dumbass.
それより彼女は間違いなく大鈴木クララよ。あのマスク、いつものトマトヘッドをかぶってないけど、私は彼女の素顔を見たことがあるから。
俺だってあるよ。
Why are you getting worked up?
ところで私たち、ついさっき誰かの姿を見かけたわよね。
Exactly.
ああ、大鈴木の格好をしたやつを。
でも大鈴木はここにいる。ということは。
Someone is impersonating her. Oh, who could it be?
あいつは一体誰なんだ。
一つだけ確かなことがあるわ。あいつの正体が X よ。
Yeah. Yeah. But now what? Are you I'm so fucking pissed. And I'll let you know that I knew that there was a story lock here. I knew it. I knew. Why? Because I went a bit too far on the flow chart. Looking for a 15A and I just ended up on this and I was like, whoops, this is something I should not have seen. And yet it still surprised me. Okay, story log 3. You have arrived at story log 3. You will not be able to progress without meeting certain conditions. Start exploring other branches for now. Reach story log 2. The conditions to unlock story log 1 have been met. This is so crazy. Singing is cool, but prompting us there? like it. I'm gonna be honest, I like it. I really do. Does that mean that? Oh my god! Oh my god! This is why the route is so short. I think I get it now. But then do we have to do all this to go back there? I don't know. I'm gonna ask the homie. Hold up. Okay, so as per the homie, 13A is quite long. It's fine. Oh, hell no. Okay, so from what I remember, looking at the spoilerless flowchart back in like 1999. Why did I just say 1999? 1999. I think that just after day 10, there's a story lock. Like, it may just be right here. But I'm not sure about that. And then we can go back to mystery route. But I don't know, bro. I don't know. Let's take a look at the what do I even call this? The timeline a bit. The only thing we have to do left is legit just go back to 0-0. 0-0 is something entirely different from what we've been doing. I'm pretty sure that 0-0 is like the second scenario route. It's gonna focus on basically the how can I say this? The lore? Yes, but the lore is established in Route 0 and not the lore established in, well, Hundredline 2, which is basically the Uchikoshi part with the time travel, the time leap type shit. So do we wanna do something else right now, or do we wanna keep on doing what we're doing? I think I wanna go back to 13A. Yeah, just screw it. We're gonna block scenario. Is it gonna unlock? Yes, it is going to unlock. Open. All clear. Day 11. Okay, so
だから厳密に言うとタイムリープじゃないのよ。私たちがこれまでに経験してきたのは
Wait, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Wait.
タイムループ。
How did you just throw me in the middle of dialogues? My god. People. Last time we were on 13A was like 50 episodes ago. Holy shit. By the way, this is the 100th, the 101st episode, I'm pretty sure. So, woohoo, a hundo. But no, let's investigate a bit. When did we get the story lock? Episode 40. So 60 episodes ago. 61, I'm pretty sure. Okay, homie apparently is playing 13A right now. Because I remember Brody, like, I think he did a like under 30 endings, and then he was like, yeah, I got enough of this game. I think he rushed second scenario, and then I don't know what he did, but he came back to the game and is currently playing 13A and is about 50 days deep. Yeah. So to recap a bit what happened on chapter 13. So chapter 13, we spared Eito and we didn't tell the truth. Exactly, we didn't reveal our secret. But something happened. Okay, so Eito, we threw his ass in a cage. Did we? No, but then, yes we did, but how did him and Takemaru fight in the infirmary? I completely forgot how that happened. They fought in the infirmary. Takemaru was about to hit Eito. Takumi got between the both of them, and Takumi got hit very hard into the revival medic, and it kind of broke. The robots, they kind of fixed it, but like, it's not perfect because when you decide to kiss Hiruko, the both of them die, and they forget because their memory goes back to day 3. So Hiruko didn't remember her memories because usually she remembers on day 4, I'm pretty sure, right? So her memory went back to day 3 before she remembered, and so she doesn't explain us what she tells us in 13A, which is basically details about what happened like these days. I think it was day 8? I don't remember exactly, but we follow Hiruko outside and she goes into the the PLM. We follow her without a suit. He becomes a bit sick. Takumi, I mean. And we're in another timeline where we discovered that Eito is actually dead. So I suppose it's one of these timelines where we decide to actually kill Eito. Which one? I don't know exactly. That is so interesting. Well, we try and convince Hiruko to actually tell us about the stuff we've experienced. And we play Persuasion, the Persuasion game, minigame with her. And she cracks because Takumi's being weird. Like he's saying stuff we don't understand. But now we understand because at some point he said, yo, here, what is that? A Calico Cat figure. She likes Calico Cat figure. But how are you supposed to know? Well, you played another route, which I forgot what it was. But you learned that in one of those routes. And then she asks Takumi, how do you know that? And the only good answer is, because you told me. No, she didn't. Not in the 10 days we've lived. Right, because she told him in another timeline. And that... I don't know if it was a bluff on Takumi's part. Because I'm pretty sure he asked Shoma in this route. So I don't know why he lied. But anyway, I don't think he remembers. He has memories from the other timelines. So she cracks under the pressure and decides to tell Takumi the truth, which is that she is a time leaper, but not just a time leaper, not any time leaper. She is a time looper. And the thing is, she's not alone. There's someone else. And it's you, Takumi. And that's basically where it ends. So we're back here. This isn't a matter of us leaping back in time. It's more that we're trapped in a time loop.
つまりあなたも私と同じタイムルーパーってこと。
The moment I heard those words, my head seemed to fill with a blindingly bright light. And then, is it gonna remember? Oh! This is so well made. This is so well made. This is so well made, but I must ask, were there any CGs we have never seen in that sequence? I tried my hardest, but I couldn't see. Should I try and go look for it? Hold up. Okay, I looked and no, we saw all of them. All of them, which is good. So that means we're not gonna get spoiled. Hopefully. The next thing I knew, I was back in my room, lying on my bed. Hiroko was there with me.
約束しなかった？たとえどんな事実を知ってもうろたえないって。
I really like her expression.
なのにうろたえるどころか気絶までしちゃうなんて。あなたのメンタルって明太子なの？
He actually remembered. That's crazy. That is crazy.
どういう意味だ？
ふにゃふにゃで皮が薄くて焼いたら弾けて破裂しちゃうって意味よ。
She had a point. I hauled myself up and got up to my feet. What day is it? 11. The sunlight that was streaming in through the window must have been lying there all night. I remember it. About the other times I've lived through these 100 days. And about what happened in those other... I guess we should call them timelines? But not all of them, right? Yeah, it's a little fragmented. How many did you remember? 10? 20? More than that? No, not even that many. You're still just a beginner. A beginner? Come with me. Where are you going this time? You wanted to hear the whole truth, didn't you? It's not something I can talk about here. Hiroko left the room, still feeling a little clueless. I followed her. To where? We should be safe in here. First, I want to hear what you know. Which TLs you remember, and how much do you remember about them? TLs. That's the abbreviation for timeline I've been using in my head. We can use the full version if you want. I'm not really sure how to explain which ones I remembered though. Any key points or characteristics will do. Okay, but honestly, I don't feel good about this. Too many of the timelines I remember ended in tragedy. So many of our friends died in those alternate realities. And they were murdered. Killed in ways so gruesome and cruel that I didn't even want to say them out loud. It hurts just to think about them. I started to think I'd have better been off never remembering it all. On the other hand, I warned you. Once you know the truth, there's no going back. But you said you could handle it. You promised not to let it destroy you. I did say that. Now I had to stand by it. In spite of the pain it caused me, I began to speak. Okay, here goes. Slowly, hesitantly, I told Hiruko what I remembered about the other timelines. The Gi parasites. The series of murder caused by them. Murders. The exorcism rituals. Oh my god, are you telling me this was real? This was real important. Look at this dude. Getting into the escape pod with Hiruko and Tsubasa and setting off for the satellites. There was another timeline with a serial killer in it too. That was you. Except that time, it turned out to be Yugamu. No, it didn't. Wait, Yugamu? Yugamu was the killer? I felt a sudden jolt of pain in my head. My memories must have been mixed up. Oh, getting mixed up. Are you alright? Yeah, I think so. I squeezed Hiruko's hand to reassure her, and carried on. I told her about another timeline, where zombies started appearing. We tried using Yugamu as bait at first. But even after that, our friends kept dying and coming back as zombies. In the end, I got caught by them too, and yeah, the Gi, do we know about that? Wait a minute. Did I become a zombie in that timeline as well? Yeah, we were killed on day 58. I think I remember that. The zombie Eito attacked me from behind. But after that, there's nothing. I guess you wouldn't remember being a zombie, huh? Of course not. By that point, I wasn't me anymore. We'll talk more about that timeline later. Tell me about the others. I nodded. There's not much to tell. There's just one more I can remember. Which is mystery. Yes, that one all started with Gaku being killed. Then Kako's body was found. She'd been poisoned. After some investigation, we figured that it was Shoma who killed Kako. But then he was found dead too, killed by Eva. You know about Eva, right? You don't have to check in with me like that. Assume I know everything besides what happened. Well, I was zombified. Okay, well, Eva activated her self-destruct device and died too. But that still wasn't the end of it. The killings continued. Next to go was Tsubasa, then Moko. And then Kurara was found strangled in the secret room in the school's basement. That's all I know. Shoma and Eva both mentioned a mastermind called X, but we never figured out who that was. It was probably them who killed Gaku. Tsubasa, Moko, and Kurara though. I'm sorry. Hiruko pushed her glasses up and directed a piercing glare at me. Is that really everything? Yeah, of course. Now go back. Oh. I was about to go back to the one where you were the killer. I don't think he wants to say it. Because they were close in this one. Hold up. Not this, but this. I have to... What? Slasher. Slasher is 14. This one. No, but no, it doesn't make sense. I was about to say that it's the Gi at the end that takes control of Takumi. Like the very same Gi that infected Takumi on Slasher. No, it doesn't make sense because that's a loop. Looped. Like a recursive. There's a recursive, I think. That wouldn't make sense. I don't think so, at least. She stared into space for a while, her expression unreadable. She was clearly thinking hard. But about what? I had no idea. Finally, she spoke. I take back what I said before. You're not a Salmon Row. Your mind has a tempered steel shell that can shrug off any attack. What does that mean? Don't worry about it. You'll understand soon enough. You're gonna lock my ass? No. Why do we keep moving around? To throw off anyone who might be trying to eavesdrop on us. Is someone really doing that? Probably not, but it pays to be careful. So going from place to place is safer than staying put and going through the whole story. Ryuko nodded. I suppose it's my turn. Ask me anything, apart from my credit card information. I would ask heinous information. But I will not tell you what, because only God could get that information out of me. What I would say. Okay, well, first of all, I want to know about your memories. When did you start remembering other timelines? Do you remember what happened on day 3? No? Oh, yes, that's when you decided to keep it a secret that you'd come from the future. And you made up the story about reading Eito's diary to explain how you knew what he was up to. My memories returned right after that, although I don't remember everything either. So far, I've only managed to recall 146 timelines. Yes, I've been through at least 146 loops, and most of them made it to day 100. Doing the math, that's 14,600 days divided by 365. That makes 40. Wait, what? 40 years? I've been living at this school, in this loop, for at least 40 years! You've been looping for 40 years? 40 years? 14,600 days? It was hard to even wrap my head around that length of time. It was making my brain freeze up. I just stood there, completely dumbfounded. And that's only the bare minimum. Counting for loops, I haven't remembered yet. The real number is probably even bigger. This is only speculation, but I think something similar is going on with you. So we're not looping the same? Huh? There's a good chance you've lived through these 100 days just as much as I have. At least 146 loops, or 40 years. It's all happened. You've just forgotten about it. We changed locations again. I was still dazed and confused, so Hiruko picked up the conversation without any prompting. Across these 146 loops, lots of different things have happened, obviously. But apart from a few exceptions, the enemy attacks always occur on the same day. Yes, that's why I insisted we go to second to last Defense Academy on day 6. Day 7 would have been too late. That's when Mervrim attacked the school. Likewise, on day 8, there would have been attacks on both academies. If that had happened, somebody would be sure to die. Getting the entire the entire SDU together on day 6 was the only way to prevent that. Did you tell Surrey and Nigo all of this? Yes, including the part about me being a time looper. It's all starting to add up now. That's how those two suddenly knew when the attacks would happen. You told them? Huh, interesting. No, don't cut the music. Okay, good. Was there something in the back or I'm tripping? On the right. Why didn't you tell me about the loop? You told Surrey and Nigo, but not me? I did tell you. I've told you and the others so many times, in so many timelines. But things always played out the worst possible ways when I did. All of you died. And I was the only one left standing. It happened like that dozens of times. For some reason, telling people the truth only takes us down dark, chaotic paths. It's like we're cursed, never able to escape our fate or change it for the better. I don't want to watch you all die anymore. So I stayed quiet about it. I thought if I didn't tell anyone, then maybe... You're telling me about it now. Is that okay? You're the one who kept asking. You just wouldn't let it go. I guess that's true. Yuriko drew in a deep breath and exhaled. She repeated that process a couple of times until she regained her usual composure. It's alright. That's not the only reason I decided to tell you. I have a feeling that this timeline might be different. I've got no concrete grounds for thinking that, but... Yuriko reached into her pocket. The calico cat figure! She brought out the calico cat figure I'd given her yesterday and squeezed it tenderly. Never mind. Don't worry about it. She put the cat back in her pocket and said no more. I'm so ready for the screen. To fade to black and just... You know. Story long, my ass. But it doesn't. This explains a lot, but I still don't understand how we got stuck in this time loop in the first place exactly. Before we get into that, let me tell you some more about the loop itself. It begins on our second day here. More specifically, the night of day 2, right before Eito destroys Surrey. When the loop resets, that's always the point in time that we return to. And when it does reset? Oh, and when does it oh my god, when does it reset? When we set foot on the satellite. It depends. There are two possibilities. Either when we die, or at 10 AM on day 100. What? I mean, 100 and 10 AM is technically 1,000, right? When you remove the 2 points, the 2 dots. Day 100? 10 AM? Yes, right around the time the school launches its final attack. For whatever reason. No, but there's an ending that doesn't reset. In Box of Blessings, when Shoma speeches hope and peace between humans and futurans, Takumi says at the end that they continue living here. They actually disarm the bomb. And that they eventually make peace with the futurans years and years later. Is that legit? Huh. For whatever reason, even if we make it to the end, we still can't escape this place. When it gets to 10 o'clock, we'll be forced back to day 2 to do it all again. You said you remember the timeline where we managed to get into the escape pod, yes? But do you remember anything from after that? I remember taking off for the satellite and watching the final attack through the window. Do I skip this? He's just gonna play the same, so I think... No. But there's nothing after that. You see? You don't have any memories of us actually reaching the artificial satellite. Neither do I. Before we can get there, our consciousnesses are pulled back. And we start again from day 2. Yuriko nodded. But is this really all true? Somehow, I have a distant memory of days beyond day 100. I was just talking about that. I know I said things turned back in the loop on day 100 at 10 AM. That's no more than an educated guess. It could end up being slightly earlier or later, or in some situations, much later. But even so, it doesn't change the fact that we'll be brought back to the evening of day 2 at some point. Think about it. Oh, this is so interesting. Because in Route Zero, when we loop, we actually loop back, we reset at this exact time. This is not a coincidence. But the loop Takumi did was not a usual loop. He triggered it himself. Unless this whole looping is caused by him and his special redo, I don't know. Think about it. If you continue to exit in a timeline after day 100 into old age, how could you possibly retain those memories from after day 100 in the here and now? What is that supposed to mean? Right, if we weren't caught in this loop, I wouldn't be able to remember any of that time. I must have gone back to day 2 even of those longer timelines, and that's why I can only vaguely remember them. I think I understand. But going beyond day 100 is an extremely rare anomalous event. It's probably safe to say that, in general, the loop turns back on itself on day 100 at 10 AM. When I arrived back in the past, I didn't have any memories from other timelines. Is it the same for you, Hiruko? I told you already, didn't I? My memories started returning on day 3. We forget everything the moment we return to the start of the loop. In some cases, like right now, we suddenly remember them again. Some cases. I have no idea what causes it, or if there's any kind of rule governing the process. That is weird. Especially since I still remember my first timeline when I got back to day 2. Yes, but that's a different type of loop. That's probably because of your cryptoglobin. What do you mean? The first timeline we experienced. I'll just call it the first cycle to make things easier. During that cycle, you absorbed Eito's power, but not just his, the baby's.
僕の遺血はすべて彼の中に取り込まれた。そしてその遺血は今、青月くんを経由して君の中にある。
On the 100th day of the first cycle, you had that ghost boy's power inside you that made you strong enough to retain your memories when you traveled back in time. Interesting. Does that mean that if in another timeline we kill the baby again and loop again, we'll retain the memories of that timeline? Wait a minute. So the time loop and cryptoglobin are related somehow? Yeah, that's what we've been saying. That the time loop may have been caused by your special redo. It only stands to reason. Think about it. What's your specialist skill? Special redo. The power to try things again. See? It all adds up. That means this shit really is canon. He's able to redo waves. But what about you? Your special discipline skill is totally different from mine. You know how some people are really good at multiple subjects? Like history and math? It's the same principle. So you've got the power to redo things as well? Specialist skills are like ultimates in Danganronpa? Think Junko, ultimate fashionista and analyst. I do. Oh, baby girl. Oh, baby girl. Damn. Damn. But it's not unheard of, because Takumi also has special revenge. Having multiple specialist skills, is not unheard of. So I guess that checks out. Then why haven't I ever seen you do it before? Technically, I've never seen you redo something either. Oh. The effects of skills that alter the flow of time are only visible to their user. Interesting. Neither of us can tell when the other uses the skill, or what changes when they do. Does that mean there are defensive battles with only one thanks to you redoing stuff? I've lived through this loop 140 times. Don't underestimate what I can do. Okay, I think I get that the time loop is somehow caused by our specialist skills. There's still something I don't understand. At the end of the first cycle, I wanted to change things more than anything. That's how I was able to go back on the night of day 2.
Oh.
Why does it keep happening in other timelines? Why does dying or making it to 10 AM on day 100 pull us back to that same point? I don't know, but I have a theory. It's because that initial jump back in time was the trigger. Let me think. So Route Zero was actually Route Zero? I'm not sure about that, because Hiruko was already trained up in Route Zero. Her skills were already leveled up. And one of the dumbass things I said in Route Zero is that, yo, was it in Route Zero actually? Could you have done that before? I was kind of thinking of it like a killing game, like Rentaro. Like, this is not my first killing game. This is not my first 100-line Last Defense Academy. Not the actual 100 days, but coming to a camp and doing some military type shit. So I don't believe that this is true. Think of spinning tops. They never stopped spinning if it wasn't for friction. That's true. The same goes for things like pendulums or spring going downstairs. In a situation where there was no resistance, all it would take is one little push, and they'd keep moving forever. I see. So basically, the first loop triggered an infinite loop because there's nothing to stop it. So it's kind of like a bug in the Matrix. Forever. That's right. Does that mean we're going to be stuck in this loop forever? There must be a way to break out of it. There has to be. What is it? Do you think I'd have put up with that idiotic face of yours for over 14,000 days if I knew? So we don't know how to escape. Not right now, at least. But what? This is a first for me. The timeline we're currently in is different from the others I remember. We've made it to day 11 without a single member of our team dying. In all 146 loops, this never happened before. This timeline must be special somehow. Is that necessarily a good thing though? If neither of us have experienced a timeline like this before, we won't be able to predict what's going to happen. That's true, aside from when the enemy attack occurs, that is. This could be our chance to finally escape the loop. All the other timelines have ended in tragedy, one way or another. This one could be different. The fact that we don't know what's coming means there's still untapped possibilities. Ruko's eyes were sparkling. I've never seen her this excited. Do you remember what I told you on the night of the third day? About not killing Eito and keeping your time travel secret from the others. You did good. Yeah, those were probably the right choices. Because those choices are what created this timeline. Where we finally have a chance to change things. Exactly. So then, my coming from the future and the time loop. If we want to preserve this timeline's integrity, it's best that we don't tell the others. There's a good chance things will develop the way they did in other timelines if we do. There was still plenty I didn't understand about this time loop thing, but I had a pretty good grasp on the basics. It felt like Hiruko had told me everything she knew about it anyway. But there were other questions I needed answers to. What was it that Suri had handed Hiruko that day in the war room? And what was with that old lab in the ruins? Oh, I think he doesn't know about the PLM here, in this timeline. What was parallel leaping? Why was Eito still alive when I saw his dead body before? Why did Hiruko try to strangle me that time in the infirmary? Who was in the drone she put in the revival-matic? Ooh. And perhaps, strangest of all, why was she crying when I saw her on the roof at the end of day 9? But just as I was about to ask her, that should do it for today. Huh? You need time to process all this information. You can pick up this conversation again tomorrow. No, I'm fine, really. People, but Hiruko wouldn't listen. She turned around and headed back toward the school, refusing to say anymore. Oh man, why is she always like this? Story log? No! With not much else to do, I went back to my room. Thinking about all those mysteries wouldn't do me a lot of good now. Not to mention, we'll still have plenty of battles to fight from here on. I need to keep building up my bonds with the rest of the team, so we'll be ready for those challenges. Maybe I'll take a look around and see how everyone is doing. Free time. Hiruko's absent. Yo, right. As ugly as ever? Yep, as always. Hiruko said we'd talk more tomorrow. No. It's gonna story lock my ass. Yo. She's finally started telling me stuff. I don't think she's about to go back on that promise now. I had no choice but to trust her. I crawled into bed and let myself drift off, wondering what revelations tomorrow would bring. Hiruko called on me after breakfast. She told me to meet her in the entrance hall, and it looks like she's already here. We exploring outside today? Don't you want to hear the rest of my story? I mean, yeah, of course. Then don't ask questions and follow me. Don't forget your fire extinguisher. Hiruko walked away at a brisk pace. I grabbed an extinguisher and hurried after her. Hello, game? You good? So, where are we going? Probably to the PLM. Why are you always so dense? I know what you want to ask me. We're going to the one place where I could probably explain things. Properly, I'm sorry. You mean that old lab? Better than giving you a lab otomi. Yo, Takumi, hit her with the dots. Thank you. That was a joke. Yeah, I didn't think she was being serious. It was just so weird to hear Hiruko joke about something. Anything. Now stop wasting time with your nonsense. Let's get going. Nonsense? I didn't even say anything. But Hiruko was already on the move. Too far away to hear my protest. Any protest I might voice. Sheesh. Muttered my complaints to the ear instead and followed after her. On the way to the lab, I felt Hiruko in on what happened in the timeline with the zombie outbreak. Like she told me yesterday, she didn't have any memories of the second half of that timeline. Or, more accurately, of anything that happened after she was zombified. Yeah, Ato, yeah. Dagi. Takemoto's sacrifice? This dude being a... I don't want to say simp, that's not it, but... a freak, I guess. He wanted the Zusi. The Zusi. And then getting taken over by the Gi. But that's the thing though, y'all remember the opening cutscene with Karua. We met Saray at a building like this one exactly. And I'm pretty sure Takumi is like, yo, that kind of looks like a school. It's just like I thought. Those zombies were created by the Gi parasites. It all began with the Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 specimens Terumi and Gaku brought back. Alpha 2 is already in its male spawning phase. It laid its eggs in the bodies of her dead friends, including me. Then those eggs hatched into male Gi and burrowed into the corpses' brains, temporarily reanimating them. It also explains one of the biggest mysteries around here. It does? Which one? You're better off not knowing. What? What do you mean? But I know you only keep pestering me about it, so I'll tell you later. Mommy! Mommy! Candy! Candy, mommy! Mommy! I swear you will tell me and I will pester you like a child. Good one. Good one. I was about to crash out if it just said story log. When we arrived at the lab, Hiruko dispelled her class armor. I did the same. Why did we change back into our regular clothes? I can put on a leap suit while wearing class armor. I don't think we'll actually need the suits this time. It's just force of habit. Why won't they work if we've got class armor on? Leap suits have the ability to repel Himo and Ima. You're not affected by attacks from class weapons. If you try to put on one in class armor, the two surfaces would refuse to touch each other, like magnets with the same polarities, exactly, yeah. Doing a parallel leap without one of those suits is a bad idea, right? You shouldn't need to ask me that. You've already experienced leap damage firsthand. Leap what? Leap damage is what happens if you parallel leap without a leap suit. I mentioned this sleeping stuff a couple of times now. What does it mean? That's what I brought you here to explain. That's what? Are you familiar with the concept of parallel universes? Well, Eito kinda told us about it in Route Zero. Yeah, Eito told me about them in the first cycle. They're basically alternate realities, right? Yo, she's about to freak out. Are you saying the different timelines we've experienced are the same thing? No, she just glosses over it? Like, girl, why do you not ask, yo, what do you mean Eito told you? Exactly, if it helps, you can think of parallel universes as the worlds of other timelines. So parallel leaping is, just like the name implies, is the process of traveling or leaping to a parallel universe. Leaping kind of implies we're going pretty far. People call trips through time leaps sometimes, right? Is it anything like that? Yes and no, because we go to the same day. No, direction is completely different. A time leap means going forward or back in time. A parallel leap is more like horizontal movement, or like changing trains to ride a different line. If we can't use any parallel leaps to go back to, we can't choose parallel leaps to go back to the past or forward to the future. Instead, we move to the same place and same point in time on a different timeline. Take a look at this diagram. Let's say we leap from TLA at 1:01 AM. We'd arrive in TLB at the same time, 1:01 AM. Essentially, our coordinates in time don't change, only the world that we inhabit. There's another difference too. Time leap would be like a journey back to the first cycle. Only your consciousness was affected. So what? There can't be two people at the same timeline, is what you mean? Like for example, we are on TLA, and the both of them go to TLB. Does that mean that in TLB, they are the Takumi and the Hiruko from TLB and not from TLA? Meaning that at the same time in one timeline, there cannot be two of the same people, of the same person? It's not like you got into a time machine and physically went back in time. But that's not the case with parallel leaps, never mind. When we leap, our bodies are traveling to those alternate realities. Oh no, she's saying that. This is what happened with the initial leap. With a special redo. Only his consciousness went back. But with parallel leaping, our bodies are traveling as well. So there can be multiples of someone. And the thing that makes this possible is the PLM. You've probably guessed from the PL part, but it stands for Parallel Leap Machine. Wait a minute. You mean that night, just after midnight on day 5? We left to another timeline? You only just figured that out? You really are slow sometimes. Where did we go though? Which timeline was it? In answer to my question, Hiruko took out a handheld device and showed me the screen. Ooh, that's hard, that's hard. They have the exact same chapter select as we do. A map of the different timelines based on the machine's data. The timeline we went to that night was Hunt Mystery. Interesting. So on day 5, we leapt to chapter 15. Exactly. And it says Hunt Mystery because they're not gonna say chapter, right? It would be dumb in universe. They say Hunt Mystery because chapter 15 is technically Hunt Mystery before the branching. Because it branches into Hunt and Mystery. Hunt what? It's a timeline that splits in 2 on day 25. One of them, you don't remember yet. We were forced to participate in a killing game called the Invader Hunt. I call that branch the Hunt timeline. The other branch, you should remember. It's the one where Gaku was killed on day 5, and Kaku's body was found on day 27. You investigated the matter and figured out that it was Shoma who killed Kaku. But then Shoma himself was killed. This time, you pinned Eva as the culprit. But then she self-destructed, and things only got worse from there. You were beset by a whole host of mysteries. You all did your best to solve them. That's why I call this branch the Mystery Timeline. The Hunt and Mystery Timelines, huh? That's right. And this is the line that both of them split off from exactly. So I combined the names together, making this the Hunt Mystery Timeline. And that's the one we went to? Ah, so the one you tried to save was Gaku? Was that also when she wrote the message on the board? Just after midnight. So that's actually before Gaku died. But why did you want to go there anyway? I had 2 objectives. One was to prevent Gaku's death. The other was to do something about Omega. Wait. Omega? Who's that? Just for a moment, Hiruko hesitated. Earlier she told us something, but then she said, no, I'll tell you later. What is it exactly? Before the diagram. This? Maybe. Oh, no, actually. I was about to say the alphas. Well, they're named alpha. What is it? Greek alphabet? So Omega is too, so maybe. Omega is the one who killed Gaku. So is it X or not? Hold up. Okay, so again, is Omega related to the Geese? Or it's actually X? Let's go with related to the Geese. So, so could Omega be the Gi Queen Takumi? I don't know. Because he should be cured. The day before, he was knocked out at night. Probably by Hiruko and was put in the infirmary and was probably healed. Probably. So I don't think the one who killed Gaku is actually the Gi Queen Takumi. So could it be X? Yeah, you know what? You mean X? Isn't that what the mastermind behind the murders in that timeline was called? No. X and Omega are different people. Omega had his brain infected with Gi data. Takumi. The Omega is the Gi Queen Takumi. There was no physical parasite there, but it was just the same as if he had been taken over by one. That's what drove him to murder Gaku. Even if I hadn't dealt with him, he would have tried to kill again. That's why I went to that timeline, to remove the Gi data from Omega's brain. Oh, so in Slasher it is the Slasher timeline Hiruko that tried to heal Tokumi, and I guess she didn't have the answer to it. Yeah, let's just call it the answer to help him. But in Hunt Mystery, it was the Hiruko from here, so 13A, that went to Hunt Mystery to heal him. Interesting. Right, it was just, she said, I went there just after midnight. Oh, and the one she put in the revival medic was Tokumi Omega. Those were my goals that night. Honestly, I still didn't get it. I waited for her to carry on. On day 4, you saw me and Suri talking, yes? The thing he gave me that day was a cerebral glitch repair program. Can y'all give me that for my stuttering? Or rather, a thumb drive with the program loaded on it. I couldn't have erased the key data without that. Cerebral glitch repair program. Why did Suri even have something like that? It's a matter for another day. The important thing is that he handed it over. Yeah, why did he have that? Once I had that program, I jumped on the Hunt Mystery timeline at midnight on day 5, just like you saw. Hiruko went on to tell me what happened after that, during the time I lost track of her. Ah, then why she choked him was probably because she didn't know which Tokumi he was? First of all, she went back to the school and rang Omega's doorbell. She hid on the dorm roof and waited for the murderer to come out. She then dropped down and knocked him out with a strike to the back of the neck. With Omega unconscious, all that was left was to take him to the infirmary and run the repair program on him. But then, the Gi data in his brain took over. He got up, grabbed Hiruko's arm, and threw her against the wall. I was still down in the morgue at that time, freaking out over seeing Eito's body. Of course, now I realized that was the Eito from that timeline, not the one I knew. In that timeline, I must have decided to kill him on the night of day 2 and absorb his cryptoglobin. It was only natural that his corpse would be there. Anyway, that was when I heard the noise. Turns out, it was the sound of Hiruko crashing into the wall upstairs. When I went out into the corridor, I heard another noise. It must have been the infirmary door opening. That was when Omega got away from me. He must have realized there was someone else around and ran. Of course, I didn't actually see any of this. That blow against the wall knocked me out. And the next time you came to me... Oh, and the next time you came to was when I was holding you. That's right. Then I kicked you in the stomach and tried to break that little matchstick you call it a neck. Couldn't you try to sound a little more sorry about that? I already apologized. Yeah, but you never told me why you did it. What do you mean? Haven't you figured it out? Yet? I had a bad feeling about this. A chill ran down my spine, and I broke out in goosebumps. After you blacked out and I got a proper look at you, I noticed something. The marks. There was a purple rash on your face. That's one of the symptoms of leap damage. That's when I realized I'd made a mistake. So I released you and went back to look for Omega instead. I knew where he'd be. The classroom on the first floor. From the way things played out before, he was bound to show up there eventually. Really, why? I suppose that's when he killed Gaku. But still, Did he kill Gaku in the same classroom in another timeline? I got there as fast as I could, but
手遅れだった。間に合わなかった。
yeah, he's on top of Gaku.
私の目に飛び込んできたの。血まみれになったマルコの姿と、それからその上にまたがり包丁を振り上げていたオメガの姿で。
まさかそのオメガって。
残念だけどそういうことよ。ギーの意識データに記載されていた人物、マルコを殺した犯人オメガというのは、そう隅野匠、あなただったの。
違う、嘘だ。デタラメだ。俺がマルコを。
You have memories of Slasher. Like, wake up.
殺したなんて。そんなことそんなことそんなこと。
Wow, he's actually breaking down? Oh, now he's remembering Slasher in its entirety. Interesting, because he only got fragments, I guess, of Slasher. Is he in bed? He only got fragments of Slasher in the initial, like, flash of memories, I guess? Because we saw the kiss at the end. Oh, yes.
これで2度目になるわ。いい加減にしてくれない？
Yes, ma'am.
俺あのラボで倒れたのか。
そうよ。私がここまで運んできたの。これでチャラね。例の考察未遂の件。
I'm not sure about that.
別に気にしてなんかいないよ。仕方がなかったんだと思う。お前はあの時俺のことハント推理の俺だと勘違いしてたわけで。
Sat up and got out of bed. Yo, I remember it. About the other timelines I've experienced. Which ones? You said that already. Oh, okay. Back on day 2, yeah. But I remember more of them now. What do you remember exactly? Well, I hesitated. Those weren't memories I particularly wanted to dredge up again. It wasn't the Hunt mystery this time, was it? You remember the serial killer timeline, didn't you? Serial killer timeline? It didn't make a genius to figure out which one she meant. Except the killer wasn't Yugamu. It was me. In the timeline, I killed Eva. And Moko. And Takemura. And Kurara. And Shoma. And Darumi. And the twins. All of them. Everyone. All my friends. And in the end, even Nozomi. I started shivering uncontrollably. I felt off balance, like I might collapse any minute. Are you alright? I wasn't alright, not even a little. But I put my hand on my chest and forced myself to take some deep breaths. You were probably repressing those memories until now, as a self-defense mechanism. You sealed them away in a corner of your mind, without even being aware of it. That's why I likened your mind to a steel shell before. But I guess you really are as fragile as a salmon roll after all. I wasn't paying attention to what Hiruko was saying. The only thing I could hear clearly was my own raging heartbeat. This might sound like an empty platitude, but I assure you, I say it as someone with 40 years worth of experience. Don't beat yourself up over this. It's not your fault. You aren't the same person who did those horrible things. The one who killed Gaku on day 5 was the Hunt mystery Takumi. Likewise, the Takumi in the serial killer timeline was someone completely different from who you are now. And even with those other versions of you, it was really the Gi data in their brains that made them act that way. They weren't in control of themselves. You don't have to bear the responsibility for their crimes. My breathing finally started to slow down. I wiped away the cold sweat that had formed on my forehead. What is this key data anyway? And how did it get into my brain? I didn't know either, until last night, when you told me about the zombie outbreak. Wait, hold... What the fuck? This is Slasher. And then Slasher branches into serial killer Takumi, and then zombies. Right? Right? Or I'm wrong. No, this is zombie indeed. 14A is zombie. But then how come zombie slasher and serial killer slasher are different? Moko dies in either. So Takumi killed the two Mokos in there, regardless of him being the serial killer or the zombie ones. I'm lost. Explain, please. In that zombie timeline, you were infected on day 100. The Alpha 1Gi Queen laid an egg inside you. That egg then hatched into another queen, which burrowed its way into your brain and fused with you on a cellular level. Okay, but right after that, the final attack began and... I'm not watching the cutscene again. Oh my god, be for real. Your consciousness didn't just disappear at the end of that timeline. It was brought back to the start of the loop on day 2, along with all your memories. Our memories persist across timelines, so they must exist in our brains as some kind of cognitive data. In this case, that data included the presence of the Gi. The parasite itself didn't travel back in time with you, but it had merged with you so completely that it was already part of your consciousness when you came back. Isn't that going to be a problem? Doesn't that mean my brain still has the data in it, even now? Don't worry about it. It won't take you over again. The version of you that's here now has already been treated. Treated? This is a timeline from after you successfully had the Gi data removed. Your timelines like that? Trust me, a lot can happen over the course of 40 years, and 146 loops. I meant to tell you yesterday, but Omega. The you in the Hunt Mystery timeline has been treated now too. Yes.
Huh?
You remember I said I walked in on Omega killing Gaku in the first floor classroom. So my throat is so dry. Before he could escape again, I ran up to him and injected him with an anesthetic I got from the infirmary. A few seconds later, he was out cold. I hoisted him into my back and carried him upstairs. Back in the infirmary, I put him into one of the recovery drones and got to work. I still had the repair program Sarai gave me. I installed it into the Revival-matic and used it to erase the Gi data from Omega. You saw me doing that, didn't you? Oh right, I did. You asked me who was in the machine before. Well, it was you, the Hunt Mystery version of you. At any rate, the treatment was a success. The Gi data was completely removed from Omega's brain. The Takumis in both the Hunt and Mystery timelines that branch off from there will be fine too. We won't have to worry about them hurting or killing anyone now. That's good. But what did you do with that me after you finished treating him? I took him back to his room and put him to bed, in bed, not unlike what I did to you, with you last night. Then I went back to the infirmary and slapped you around until you came to. I'm assuming you remember that. Yeah, I also remember you saying I couldn't save him. Now you've told me all this, I can see you meant Gaku. Yuruko's expression clouded over. She gave a little nod, her brows knitted together in sorrow and frustration. Hey, come on, don't be like that. This is, my fault anyway. I was the one who killed that version of Gaku, and everyone else in the serial killer timeline too. How many times are you going to make me repeat myself? That wasn't your fault. It was nice of Yuruko to say that, but it didn't do any good. I still felt like I was caught in a dark, sludgy whirlpool that was dragging me down, threatening to swallow me whole. What am I going to do with you? Remember your promise. Don't let the truth destroy you. I had a feeling you'd react like this. That's why I was keeping it from you. I just knew you'd end up feeling like you were responsible for the whole thing. I wanted these thoughts to go away. I wanted it all to stop. It took everything I had to croak out my next words. I'm sorry, but I'd like to be alone for a while. Hiruko sighed again, shaking her head in bewilderment, but she left it all the same. A cold silence fell over the room. I could have sworn I heard a heavy rumbling gurgling up from somewhere deep beneath the ground. Wait, what? What? I thought he was talking about his stomach. It sounded like the agonizing groans of everyone who died because of me. I dropped to the floor, covered my ears, and closed my eyes. You can story lock my ass. I don't care anymore. Day 14. Damn! Well, that is some crazy plot exposition. Exposition, right? That's how you call it, right? And or it's definitely not bad. I actually like the fact that they explained things, even though we pretty much knew about the whole thing, to be honest. Yeah, pretty much all the things that have been said, we pretty much know about it all. Except, of course, the going to another timeline and healing the Tsukumi theory. But overall, we already knew like 80-90% of the things Hiruko recapped here. But it's good. It's good that she recapped. That was important, especially if especially if we especially if we did 0-0 in the meantime. That was some good recap, and I like it even more because compared to the mystery route, I actually understand things. But damn, that is a lot. I think I'm gonna end it here. We're gonna continue on in the next episode because this is some crazy shit. This is some crazy shit. So I'm gonna say goodbye to y'all and see you in the next one. Goodbye.